And now, live from the Neverland Theatre, your host, Gary Starr.
Stage 2.
Hello, a very good evening to you. Welcome back once again to StageToStream.tv, live here from the Neverland Theatre, here in the heart of Skirglas. Hope you're well. Good. How's it been? How's your day been? Have you had fun? Probably. Maybe not. Who knows? But one thing is for sure, you're here now and you're watching StageToStream.tv, which is wonderful because we're here to entertain you and, of course, to chat all things entertainment and so much more. Good. Let's find out what's on tonight. Live tonight on StageToStream.tv. Tonight's special guest, writer, producer and actor Steve Gillard. Plus, top banter from Gary Starr and Right Hand Ruthie. Get your questions in now. It's all happening tonight, right here on... Yes, indeed, it's all happening tonight, as always, here in the place to be, StageToStream.tv. Before we start, once again, what we ask you to do is share this page. I can't anymore because people keep moaning that I'm spamming them. But if you want to share this page, then please do so. Spread the love out there to all your friends that are in the business that you think should be listening to this, and of course, need someone to talk to. We all want to talk. Like Ellie Pickering, who's got cider in hand. Ready for a great show. Whatever. I don't even know what I said there. Anyway, let's carry on. Hello, Ellie Pickering. I've also had cider. Let's go over right now to the one we're waiting for. It is, of course, Right Hand Ruthie.
Right hand Ruthie.
She was doing something else. Yeah. Were you typing then?
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, my phone went off with...
It did. Bad news.
It's bad news.
Oh,
Yeah.
turn it off.
I know. Yvette Pepper's like the stream. Hello, Yvette.
Hello.
Yeah.
Oh.
Good. There you go. How are you this evening?
Yeah, I'm all right. How are
We've
you?
definitely sorted out your lighting now. You're the same sort of shade as me. You're no
it's
longer
'cause-
glowing.
Yes, but every time I come in, you've fiddled with something.
Well, I like to fiddle.
You're going to move all the studio around later as well, aren't
Right hand Ruthie. Right hand Ruthie.
Yes, I am, Right Hand Ruthie.
Yeah.
I'm going to move the studio around a little bit later on. We're going to rebuild it, aren't we? Yeah? Mm-hmm. Anyway, speaking of fiddling...
you? Oh, pack it in.
Wet trumpet. You like that, don't you?
Right, that's Ricky Gold's fault. Ricky?
I didn't even see that.
Get
I
out.
didn't even see Ricky Gold's statement of saying, will there be wet trumpets tonight? But,
I think that's just answered the question.
yes, there will be. There will be many wet trumpets this evening
No.
because they've been fast becoming more popular than
Steel drums are our favourite drum.
that one.
Oh, no. That's just so much better.
I think we need to get James Harrison onto this to do me. It's a wet trumpet.
It's just a horrendously sad sound, isn't it?
It's beautiful.
It's not.
Anyway, there you go.
Now listen.
Ricky Gould's back and he's saying he's looking forward to Ruth's Fun Fact of the Day. We always are. We all are. It's what we look forward to. And we've got some stories to talk to about today.
No, we
have.
look. Stop talking about my misfortunes.
No, it's not misfortunes. What we need to talk about today, right, is something that happened this morning. Okay? I spend the entire... No, we're going to... No, we need to.
Oh.
Right, listen. I spend the entire day in the studio, probably about 6-7 hours now, getting this show ready, and I've been writing scripts and all of this stuff. And Ruth's upstairs with the doggos in the office, doing her thing, and that's wonderful. We have our things to do. However, Ruth likes to cook, and every morning she'll message me and go, "Would you like a bacon sandwich?" And every morning I'll go, "Yes, yes," and she'll bring me a bacon sandwich.
You have an abundance of bacon in the fridge.
I do buy a lot of bacon.
So much bacon.
I buy it in bulk.
What are you going to do with it?
Well, eat it. Obviously, we do.
Yeah, but every day, that's
No, you can have a bacon sandwich. There's nothing wrong with that.
not every day.
Well, okay, anyway. So, this is what happened. And this is an important story and one you need to be aware of. This morning, Ruth went, "I've been out this morning. I bought some eggs. Do you want bacon and eggs? A sandwich?" I went, "Yeah, why not? It'd be a nice start to the day." And that's what happened. And then about 3 hours later, she came in with a coffee and went, I'm gonna make your sandwich now. And I was like, have you not already started? Because you asked me this 3 hours ago. True story, right? So anyway, this happened, and then like half an hour later, she came in with this bacon and egg sandwich. It was beautiful, and she stood and watched me eat it, which is always really disturbing.
I can't eat sandwiches.
I know, but you watched me eat it, and then at the end of it, you went, "Did you like that?" And I went, "Yeah, it's very nice." And you went, "What about the egg?" And I went, "Very nice." And you went, "Got it perfect." Yeah, well, it was very nice. Yeah, it was runny egg, in a bacon sandwich. It's a bit awkward when you've got a beard, but anyway, this is by the by. Anyway, so what happened, Ruth? You then said, did you enjoy it? I said, yes. And you then told me how you cook it to make it so perfect. Now, brace yourself for this, ladies and gentlemen, because even I was taken aback at the cooking skills of this. I've never heard of it before. But Ruth, in order to get a runny egg on a bacon sandwich, how do you cook the egg?
So, when I first made a cooked egg ages ago,
Yep.
you complained a little bit.
I didn't complain.
Well,
I
you
never
did.
complain. I actually like my eggs well done because it runs down my beard. But go on.
That's not what you said at all. You said you have to have the white bit so it's cooked and the yellow bit so it's all gushy and runny.
No. So what I said is when you asked me how it's normally done, I said, yeah, normally the yolk's runny, but I'm not bothered because, and you take that as me criticising, I'm not bothered because when you have it yolky runny, it runs down my beard. It's a nightmare. However, you took this as a complaint. You took it to the kitchen. You redesigned how to fry an egg. So let's not waste time. Let's talk about how you fry an egg in a sandwich to make it perfect.
Well,
And the reason you're laughing is because now you realise it's ridiculous.
okay.
Okay.
So, what you have to do, get your frying pan, put it on the heat, bit of oil, not too much, just a little bit.
Yep.
And then you crack your egg,
Yep.
but not into the frying pan, into a cup. Also have an extra vessel.
Yeah, this is happening. Brace yourself.
Separate it, like how the chefs do with the shells.
Yep.
Tippy tip.
Yep.
The white in one cup,
Yep.
the yolk in a bowl.
Yep. This is actually happening and you're listening to this live. Go on.
Cook the white bit, put it
Yeah.
in the frying pan.
Mm-hmm.
Cook it. Sizzle. Flip it over.
Yeah.
Sizzle. Drop the yellow bit on, the yolk.
In the middle.
In the middle.
To make it look like the egg it was supposed to be.
Right in the middle, because
Yep.
you can, yeah. And then just wait for a bit until you think it's right. Slide it out. Slap it in the sandwich. Bish, bash, bosh. Job's a good one.
So just to reiterate on this, Ruth cooks the white bit first.
Yep.
Then drops the yolk in the middle so that you get a runny yolk.
Yes.
I mean, it's phenomenal.
Well, it worked though, didn't it?
It's Ruth's fun fact of the day.
It worked, didn't it? Now, you always said, because you complained the first time, because I hadn't
didn't
cooked it.
complain.
No, because you said you wanted it runny, but then
No.
because I'd left it runny, the white bit wasn't quite cooked, and
No,
then you
now
got
listen,
a bit sick.
there's a
But,
different... No, I got a bit sick, yeah. Now listen, there's a difference between completely undercooking an egg. This is top banter, by the way. If you've just joined in for our entertainment show, welcome to Cooking Slowly and Rubbish with Ruth. Thanks, Ellie.
Slowly?
Yeah. Ellie said you need a slow cooking program. Okay, listen.
Have you ever watched slow TV? It's
No,
great.
listen.
It's a thing. I'm going to make a note.
When
of that.
you
I'll tell
cook
about
an
it.
egg and you don't cook it and it's got that horrible snot slime over the top, that's not cooked.
Yeah, which is-
However, the way to cook a fried egg, very simply, drop it in a hot pan, flick the oil over the top so it cooks the top as well as the bottom, but you still have a running yolk. You don't need to separate it, cook it separately and then reinvent the egg because that doesn't need to happen.
So what you're basically saying is today, to shorten the story that you've been rambling on about, you could have just said, Ruth made me an egg bacon sandwich. Boom, done.
Yeah, could have done that, but you didn't. You then decided to dissect the egg into two parts and create some hybrid egg.
Well, Michelle Shipman has said, Ruth, I think that's a brilliant way to do a perfect egg. So, thanks, Michelle.
Well, where's Michelle Shipman?
Well, she's in the comment.
Oh, right, okay. Yeah, But wait a minute, because do you notice after that comment, right? There's three laughing emojis. That sort of points out that that's sarcasm. So
Didn't get that.
Ellie Pickering said Gordon Ramsay would slap your mum over that. True story.
Gordon Ramsay would be put in a toaster.
Yeah, that makes no sense at all. And another
Slap
fun
my
fact of
mum.
the day.
It's Ruth's
Take his hands off
fun fact
with a spatula.
of the day.
He's not a fish, Ruth. So anyway, that's it, isn't it? It's weird, isn't it? How you?
It's not weird. It worked perfectly.
It is weird, Ruth.
It's not.
Everybody out there right now is just. I mean, look at the amount of comments that are coming in right now, based on the fact that this is an entertainment show, but talking about theatre, and you've managed to destroy chat with an egg.
It's not the only thing that happened with the egg.
Oh yeah. There's more to this story, which you then sort of told me afterwards. Why don't you finish off your story as to what happened after cooking an egg?
Well, no, this was prior to cooking the egg.
Right.
I didn't know if you wanted 1 egg or 2 eggs. And bearing in mind, around here, when you buy eggs, it comes in a batch of 30. I mean, that's an excessive amount of eggs. And I don't even like eggs. I don't like them at all. Like, if they're in something...
What happened?
Oh, anyway. Well, I was bringing a lot of things downstairs at the time, and I didn't... You know what eggs are like? Well, they're kind of spherical in a way, and
they're egg-shaped.
have a really
Go
weird
on.
centre of gravity, and then blah, blah, and they go everywhere. So I thought what I'll do is I'll put them in my pouch.
Right.
Like on the front of your hoodie, you have a little pouch.
Yeah.
where you can put your hands in. So I put them in there.
I can tell you right now, Steve Gillard's in the chat watching this, and I can see his face going, what have I come into? I'm going to leave very shortly. But go on, carry on with your egg story, Ruth.
Well, I had things in my hands, and I had 2 eggs in my pouch.
Right.
And I came down, and I forgot the eggs were in my pouch.
This is actually happening, yeah.
And when I put everything down, I leaned against the counter, and then I had egg in my pocket.
So you got an eggy pouch, and on top of that, you spent 20 minutes cooking an egg by cooking the white first, and then carefully reconstructing the yolk on top of it.
But it looked good. It was so
It didn't. You rammed it then
symmetrical.
in a sandwich, and it was just everywhere.
Wow.
True
I'll take
story.
offence in that.
Anyway, it's a
Now-
good story, Ruth. Have you got more?
Well, I'm just going to point out that Yvette Pepper's was laughing at me.
I don't know why.
Wow.
Eggy pouch.
I'm just gonna point out to Yvette Pepper who tried to hairdry a cheese in a hotel room. That would be you.
Yeah, but it's not even close to what you did with an egg.
I need to find that video. So on Christmas, when we have our tours go out, we try and keep morale high by sending out ridiculous, kind of like Taskmaster, but better. We did it first, before Taskmaster was even a thing.
It
Anyway,
was a long time ago. But
so things like, because a lot of it is travel lodges, you know. So make the best meal you can
Speed it up.
in
Go
your.
on.
Whoa! Now this is make the best meal you can in your hotel travel lodge.
Right.
So we had loads of entries. The best one we had, who was it? I think it was Charlotte Bond, and I think Laura Harvey was on that team as well. Anyway, they literally cooked spaghetti bolognese in a hotel room using all sorts of different bags and vessels and a kettle, and it was amazing. It looked brilliant. They had 3 courses anyway. It was phenomenal.
Great.
Anyway, I'm going to bring you on to Yvette Pepper. And she was very excited about doing this. And the video is there, and she's very matter-of-factly putting her nachos down on the plate. And she's got a bit of salsa, and then she's got a shredded cheese. And there's a bit of commentary going on as well. Jessica Knox was in the room, and she was filming it. And she said, so what are you going to do? How are you going to melt the cheese? She went, now I'm glad you've asked. And she turns the hairdryer on, points it at the plate. And it just went everywhere.
Yeah, blew the cheese off.
The cheese
I've
went
seen
all
that
over the
video. It's a
place.
good one. But
Anyway,
it's still not as good as
so,
separating your eggs and
listen.
doing it that way. No, I'm listening.
Rachel Edwardson. Hi, Rachel. She said, I don't like the yellow, so I need to try this.
Yeah, if you were removing the yellow from an egg, again, top theatre banter, but if you were removing the yellow from the egg, then fine, but you're not. You're cooking it at the same time, but separately to make it... Anyway, listen, Ruth, if people want to get in touch this evening and actually talk about something to do with theatre,
Yeah, sorry.
not eggs, no, we're not a cookery show.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
So if they want to get in touch, how do they get in touch this evening?
Well, I'm glad you asked, because
I've
I
asked,
completely forgot.
Yeah, go on.
Head on over to statiastream.tv on Facebook. Head into the chat and, write something non-food related.
Right.
Because we're
Good
not a
idea.
cookery show. Say hello, give me a wave. Remember to like and share it as well, because the more you like and share, then other people get to see it, and then everyone else will know how to cook the perfect egg. So definitely do that. Alternatively, you can send me a message to my inbox, or I've got my telephone here. You can drop me a message or a WhatsApp. The telephone number is...
I'm glad you asked. Sing it.
07510, followed by 891, then 005. Let's get social.
What was that number again?
That's 07510,
Of course.
followed by 891, then 005.
Yes, indeed. You can get in touch with Ruthie, right hand Ruthie, right now over there. If you want cooking tips or indeed want to actually talk about things that are to do with the show, you can get in touch right now with her in Social Media Corner on WhatsApp or text, or indeed you can... she's gone. What's happening, Ruth? What's happening?
I just read Steve Andrews' comment.
What did he say?
Oh, I'm so sorry.
I've not even scrolled up yet. Go
How
on.
many spoons of coffee in a cup?
How many spoonfuls of coffee in a cup? Go on.
It was an accident.
What did you do?
Well, I couldn't remember. I don't even remember what I did. Did I make it really strong or really weak? I can't remember.
Really strong. I think it was 4. Yeah.
Well, I remember. Right, sometimes, I don't know if this happens to you, but sometimes, you know, when I don't drink hot drinks, so I very rarely make them. Got a snazzy coffee machine now, though, so I just put the thing in it and press
Yeah.
go. That's good. Anyway,
Jesus Christ. Go on. Hurry up, because I want to get
Steve
the guest
came
on.
round.
I want to talk to somebody with some intelligence. Get on with it.
Steve Andrews, he popped round
Yeah.
when we were allowed to,
Yeah.
and
You made him a coffee.
made him a coffee. And I was like, I went, did I go and get milk or biscuit? I don't know. I had to go and get something. We didn't have an element of it anyway. And because you have that weird thing.
Quickly.
Gary has
Just, make this story a bit quicker. Like within 10 seconds. Go.
Gary has a tin of powder, which is like a latte thing, but it's got like milk powder in it. I don't know, from like the war or something. I'm not
Like
sure.
in a machine, yeah.
And basically, you have to put 4 in this big
Yeah,
cup. He has a
great.
big
And
cup.
with Steve, you gave him how many? 4. 4 of very strong coffee. You know what that is?
It's Ruth's fun fact of the day.
And there's more from Ruth a little bit later on. Oh, it's such a fun time, isn't it? Right now, though, we've got to move on because I need to talk to our guest this evening. So right after this, it's Steve Gillard. Don't go anywhere. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to StageToStream.tv, Steve Gillard. Yes. Hello, sir. How are you?
I'm well, thank you, mate. I'm well. Yourself?
Yes. Well, I'm, just kind of falling asleep right now due to Ruth's inane chat about eggs, which you may or may not have heard while you were in the waiting room. Yeah, good stuff.
I roll up in the weirdest episode of MasterChef I've ever encountered.
It's just... That's what I have to deal with constantly. So, it started off good about theatre talk, and then it ended up with Ruth talking about eggs for around about 15 minutes. But it's good that you're here. Welcome. Shut up, Ruth. Get out of the room. Right, okay. It's good that you're here. Welcome, my friend. Nice to chat to you this evening. We've got lots of stuff to talk about because you've got fabulous projects coming up. But let's find out a little bit about you, first of all. Tell us about you, how you got into the industry, what you do in the industry. It's over to you.
Well, my name's Steve Gillard. I am the artistic director of the Blue Room at the small theatre in Lincoln. I got into it essentially by sort of chancing my arm and rolling up to somebody who actually knew what they were doing and saying to them, can I build a theatre? And they were drunk enough to say yes. And the Blue Room was built essentially as a result of that. I've been doing that for the past 3.5 years, doing a bit of acting, a bit of producing, a bit of directing, everything I can get my hands on and everything I can lay my hands to in those 3 years, basically.
It's amazing because we almost have that, after chatting today, and of course we've met before because you had the Blue Room and we brought Dracula over there, Chosen Darkness, but you kind of have the same ethos as we do. You sort of have that idea and you make it happen, which is wonderful to see. So of course you set up the Blue Room and that was wonderful. But then obviously things have happened with the pandemic and as has happened with many people. How did you sort of cope with that, and what did you do to sort of get through it?
Well, I mean, obviously, like most theatres, we had to close down. We were 1 week away from a show going on, which is like one of those movies where you're 1 week away from retirement kind of thing. And we were about to put Much Ado About Nothing on, and then unfortunately, we just had to sort of, it was gone, all gone. So immediately the thought was, well, what can we do? How do we sort of keep everything rolling? How do we keep creativity rolling? I mean, if you're a creative person, it's not something you can just turn off. You've got to be doing it. So we thought, well, okay, let's see how we can make things work. So we started learning new skills. There was a bunch of us who sort of got together. You had Laura Turner on a few days ago, who I work with quite a lot, and Ellie Pickering. And we all essentially got together and said, well, what can we do? What new skills can we pick up? So we thought, let's try and learn how to do some filming. Let's start making short films, writing monologues, just trying to get people still to hold on to that sort of creative vibe through, we didn't know at the time how long this was going to take, how long it was going to be. I think we all kind of thought this was going to be done in probably a few weeks, maybe a month or two. We originally planned for reopening in like September, and slowly but surely you're sort of thinking, oh, that's going back and back and back. But we just sort of kept going. We just wanted to sort of try new things. So we started making films, and we started, like I say, producing monologues and writing and just doing stuff we could do with mobile phones and webcams and everything we kind of had to hand, basically.
Yeah, it's amazing. And like we say, we had Laura on a few nights ago. And when we met Laura, which I met for the first time, she's such a tour de force. She has such a passion for what she does and amazing at what she does. And so the fact you've teamed up with her, and then on top of that, used Ellie, who's in the chat now, talking about eggs and stuff. But, actually as well, we need to get her on the show to chat things as well. But the fact that you got all those people together and sort of started this creative process is incredible, and what a great team. So you started on your first project that you filmed with Ignis Films. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so Ignis Films is a brand new kind of film company that we've just sort of set up, which is just there to sort of make little films and sort of short stuff and just really experimental and try new things kind of films. And we kind of thought to ourselves, well, lockdown's in. What can we do that's nice and easy? Couple of cast members, nice and simple, dead easy. So we thought, I tell you what, AD 79, the Fall of Pompeii. How difficult in Lincoln can that possibly be to film with two people, a borrowed light board, a mobile phone, and a couple of togas essentially repurposed from Primark? And we went crazy and just went out and started filming some stuff. Really, went to the cathedral, filmed around there, filmed around the lakes, filmed in the sort of the orchards and so on and so forth, and put this nice little sort of monologue film together with Laura playing the lead character and narrating, and Ellie playing the secondary character. And we just tried stuff, really. It was just a case of going out and doing something, and not saying what's going to stop this from happening, but how do we just make this happen and get on with it? And, like I say, when you've got Laura, who's an absolute force of nature, and you've got Ellie, who is also a force of nature, even with the massive drag factor that is me behind the camera, you've got a lot of fun. And we created something we were proud of, and just, something we could build with kind of thing.
Yeah, no, it's amazing, and it's wonderful to see, and this is what I love about everything. That's kind of, the worst of times, these sort of creative times have come out of it, because when we were chatting earlier, we've kind of, again, it's like we're separated. I've obviously got better hair and a better beard, but you've got better skills, but like you started, like you say, filming that thing on an iPhone, or probably not an Apple phone. I don't know what it was. I don't want to sponsor Apple, but but you did those at that level, and then beyond that, I know that you've sort of invested, like we have, in new equipment and sort of, to build that, to build what you do, and during lockdown, you've equally sort of learnt new skills.
Yeah. I mean, it's well, firstly, mate, 37 years of growth to get this, so it's
87.
I imagine it's like a day,
Yeah.
but it's So I mean, consumer electronics. It just it's you can go out and with a relatively small amount of money, you can get something that'll make something that looks really nice. In the hands of a skilled photographer, you can really build something, and that's kind of where we sort of brought Ignis from, and sort of came up with this idea is that it is just going to be people getting into it. Our next sort of project that we're going to be working on, we're bringing in master's students from the university to help us make it. DOPs and sound recordists and so on and so forth, and people who are looking for a start to sort of like just get going, but get to play with some equipment that actually sort of does the job at the same time. And yeah, it is just a case of sort of like learning new skills. Like I've been learning how to use Adobe and DaVinci Resolve and editing and color correction and all that kind of stuff. And the amount of like how-to guides that are out there on the internet, if you're not sure how to do something, type it on YouTube. Somebody's going to show you the precise buttons to press to make this thing work. And you can make stuff that looks, if not like, cinematic, at least, you're talking like semi-pro to professional levels of stuff, and it's good fun as well. You get to pick up new skills and work with new people. And I think something you hit on, which is this thing that creatives kind of came out of the works almost with this lockdown, and people working or wanting to work together, perhaps in a way that before this, when sort of times were in inverted commas good, the first question would have been, well, how much? Or what's the time constraints on this? Yeah. And now it's very sort of, I want to get involved. How do I help? I mean, you talked about Ellie. I will hat off to Ellie always. She always says, how do I help? That's her like first question with all these things, and that's the kind of creatives you want to be working with on a day-by-day basis. And Ellie and Laura are just fantastic for that kind of thing.
Yeah, I think it's definitely something that's come out of this is like you say, people coming together and also working with people that we never would have met. The thing that's come out of what we're doing now is I've spoke to people within the industry, across the board in all different areas that you never would have had the opportunity to talk to, and suddenly well, I like that idea. Let's do something, and not for a monetary gain, because most people never came into this industry for a monetary gain. There's no point if you did, but if you're creative and you want to create something amazing and beautiful, then the fact now that people are coming together and doing this sort of stuff is just phenomenal. And fair play to you. Now of course I know you've got things coming up. Let's talk about those as well. With exciting projects as well coming up very soon.
Yeah, so the first thing that's really on the cards, and one of the nicest things that I get to sort of talk about here, is that we've just launched Summer Theatre at the Lawn. So the Blue Room, as many people might know, might not know, works out of the Stokes building at the Lawn in Lincoln, and we've got an absolutely beautiful outdoor area. And so one of the first things we thought we could do is to bring theatre back to outdoors. So we've just literally put on sale the tickets for The Wind in the Willows and Midsummer Night's Dream, which are going to be running at the same time, because again, how easy can you make it? I know, let's put two shows on at the exact same time with two casts. Got to be as easy as that. And we're going to be running those outdoors. at the lawn. It's going to be socially distanced. We're selling plots rather than individual seats. So, you purchase a space rather than just a chair. And then we're going to be working with Jamie Marcus Productions, JMP, particularly Julie Fox, who's come in to work with me on this as producer and director of Wind in the Willows, while I'll be directing Midsummer Night's Dream. And we're working together to really sort of produce a really sort of family-friendly show that anybody can come to. Doesn't matter if you don't know anything about Shakespeare, and it doesn't matter if you're 80 and it's Wind in the Willows. It's going to be a lot of fun for the whole family. And you can come see both shows at the same time and really just sit down in the grounds of the lawn, have a picnic, enjoy what I hope will be incredibly sunny weather throughout the entirety of the end of May and June, and get back into theatre. So that's our sort of like our first project that we're sort of like.
Yeah, I mean that's really exciting, and even you can see the kind of joy in your face when we go and we've got tickets on sale now, because nobody said that for at least a year. So
we start auditions next week, and I don't know how many auditions I've run in my time, but this is the most nervous I've been about conducting auditions that I've ever been in my life, because it's the first time back. It's we get to see actors really trying to giving their all, giving their craft again, which we've missed. We've sort of forget just how much effort and training and preparation and time goes into this kind of stuff. And I think I'm right in saying we've had about 65 local actors get in touch with us to want to audition. And, we've been throwing auditions out left, right and centre to get people involved. And we're saying to people, look, we want to get as many people involved as possible, because it's a craft, it's a living, it's what people want to do.
Yeah. No, it's going to be phenomenal, and of course with Jamie Marcus, working with him, and of course Julie Fox. Oh, I love Julie. She's amazing, wonderful director. She directed me as Hook, and I'm the worst person to direct because I don't learn my scripts. I don't. But she's wonderful. So you're going to have an absolute ball with that.
It's going to be good. Yeah, I'm loving working with Julie so far. She is incredibly supportive, incredibly receptive. She makes stuff happen, as I'm sure you know. I'm going to overuse this phrase, but it's a force of nature. She really is. Set your mind to something, it happens. There's no messing around or anything like that. You say, let's do this, it's going to happen, kind of thing. There's no sort of worries about it. So I'm really loving already working with her. I can't wait to work with her through the rehearsal process. Can't wait to get back into rehearsals, and just sort of build these plays again.
Yeah, she's amazing. I mean, I often talk back of this of when I stepped back into doing panto, and it was to go and do it was to be Captain Hook at the embassy, and she was directed, and she was so patient with me in the fact of, because I'm normally used to just directing myself and I'll do what I do, on the night, and then suddenly stepping back into trying to learn a script, and I'm terrible at scripts, and I would just go, I will know this, and she'll go, don't worry, I don't need to worry about you, just do what you do, and literally in the dress rehearsal, I'm like, yes, I'm Captain Hook, and this is where we're going. But she never got stressed. She never, which is the sign of a great director, is the fact that she just, let me do my thing, and we got through it.
Screaming to pillows behind the scenes.
Of course.
In front of everybody.
I know she walked away and went, God, he's awful, but he'll be fine on the night. But because I would do the same. It was good times, and I look forward to coming and seeing all your work throughout the summer. It's going to be amazing. So what else is coming up for you other than that?
So beyond theatre and that kind of side of things, the next thing we're really working on is an Ignis Films project, again with Laura and Ellie. We're putting together a piece called The Lady in the Lake, and it's all based around sort of this sort of shared mythology. So this idea of the basic kind of outline of it is this idea of a siren or a trapped in a lake, and the woman who sort of befriends her, kind of thing. But it's all based around this idea of this kind of shared mythology, from sort of Celtic through Norse through ancient Greek, this idea that the harpies, the sirens, the mermaids, the kelpies, all this kind of thing, they kind of share similarities, and this sort of sense that all these mythologies came together on this sort of kind of point of almost like a fear of female empowerment and female sexuality and so on and so forth kind of thing. So we're doing a nice little sort of story that's kind of half based in sort of local mythology and local sort of stories and apocryphal tales kind of thing. And so it's an excuse to chuck Ellie in a lake at the end of the day. So, there's what else.
Amazing.
So we did it once, so we're going to throw her in another lake, see what happens. I mean, it's the typical test for a witch, see if she floats.
Yeah,
and
she won't, but she'll still live. The thing to know about Ellie, which I mentioned to you earlier, there's a couple of things she won't do, which I can't say on air. However, you're now aware of what she won't do in a show, unless it looks rubbish, and then she'll do it anyway. So, just bear that in mind.
Bear that in mind. But again, we've written this ourselves. We're going to be launching a crowdfunder soon. We want to sort of basically the idea is to kind of do this short 10-minute piece as a sort of proof of concept. So we can sort of say, look, this is what we can do for absolute peanuts kind of thing. Crowdfunding, we're looking to try and raise just a bit of money, like £1,000, 1,500 quid to sort of just get a few bits and pieces sorted, a few pennies out to a few people to sort of, really appreciate what they're doing. And then take that and really try and cachet it into saying, right, now we've done this for nothing. How about we can have all the money and we'll make a proper feature for it now kind of thing, because there's a good story to tell here. And we've got loads of people sort of involved and giving time already. It's absolutely lovely to be involved with.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. Ellie, Ellie's out there listening. I did tell him the story of you and Johnny in the underwear and the shading, but we won't go into that now on stream. Right, we're going to... we're going to welcome Ruthie to the stream. Hello, Ruthie.
Hello.
She's not going to talk about eggs now. We've passed that. But let's talk about what's going on in social media.
Okay, so we've got lots of people popping in saying hello. They're loving everything they've seen that you do so far, and fully supportive. And we've got all your links in the chat stream as well. So make sure you hop in there, everyone, and click on those, give them a like and a follow as well. Keep up to date with all the progress that's happening. We've got, obviously, Ellie's in there. She's having a little chat as well. And she says, In Umbra was a lifesaver for me. Such a wonderful creative experience. So she really enjoyed that project. That's nice to hear.
She also said, stop revealing all my secrets.
It's too late.
Just out of Lady in the Lake. Yeah, that's happened.
Okay, right. We've got lots of questions as well. So the first question is, if you could pick anyone to work with in the world, so past or present, out of either the theatre world or out of film, TV and screen work, who would it be and why?
Wow, good question. There's so many people, so many really amazing people that would be wonderful to work with. I think one of the things I really like is actually working with the people kind of in front of me. I know that might sound like a bit of a cop-out, but I really like working with people who are building up their careers and starting. It'd be wonderful to work with your Steven Spielbergs and your Terrence Malicks and all these kinds of people. But I really like taking my work with people who are sort of just getting started, and we sort of go on this sort of journey together and really build up our skill set together. I think you kind of almost learn more doing that in some ways than you do from sort of working with somebody who's incredibly established. That being said, if Steven Spielberg popped on the phone right now and said, do you fancy doing a film? I'm probably not going to go, oh, I'm sorry, Steve, I'm busy at the weekend. But so that's probably my slight cop-out answer to that one.
I like it.
That's good.
It's not a cop-out, it's good.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's good. Okay, right. What would be your dream project or show to work on? So if you could choose any genre that maybe has already been done, is there anything you would like to maybe sort of reinvent and do that kind of side of it?
I'm a massive sci-fi fan at the end of the day, despite the fact I tend to write sort of fantasy or sort of grounded drama as my sort of like go-to. I'm a massive sci-fi fan, and there's a series that's just it's just finished season 5. It's called The Expanse, and I'm a huge fan of that, and it's world building. I love really intricate world building, and The Expanse is an incredible example of this sort of like, solar system wide world building that they do, kind of thing. So if I could honestly have worked on a show, that or something like The West Wing, just to work with those kinds of people, slight sort of nod back to the previous question. A writer called Aaron Sorkin, who some of you may or may not know, is sort of my sort of hero as a writer, kind of thing, and his style of writing. So something like The West Wing, something like The Expanse, I would have loved to have worked on shows like that.
Nice.
Great.
Ruthie.
I've heard a lot about The Expanse. I've not seen it myself, but I have heard good things. I'll have a check out of that. Okay, we want to know, any Pickering would like to know, what's your favourite piece you've directed or been in?
Favourite piece I've directed, I think, would probably be, we did a production of One Man, Two Governors, which was our first main show in the Blue Room we did as the Asylum Players, first show for the Asylum Players. And everybody just had such a great time. The audience responded so brilliantly to what we were doing. And it was, it was a bit of a chance kind of thing. You don't know how any show, however much you think it's famous or great, is going to sort of sell. And we got such a good audience, such good feedback, and the cast had such a good time doing it that it really sort of made me think, okay, this is something from a directorial point of view I can do, and I can help these guys get a performance out there. I think what I've been in, probably two. I'm going to go with two, if that's okay on this one. We did a production of Blackadder Goes Forth, and I got to play Blackadder in that, and that was just incredible fun to do because Blackadder is one of the greats. And again, fantastic audience reaction. And then more recently, just before the last show we did before lockdown, I got to play John Proctor in The Crucible, and that's one of my bucket list roles to play, and it was so much fun and so nice to sort of get into the meat and emotion of a character like that.
Amazing. Yeah. Where did you play Blackadder?
In the Blue Room. We did it in the Blue Room. So we have a little sort of side theatre company called Cakes and Ale, and we do dinner theatre. And the whole sort of concept is we did 2 episodes of Blackadder, then the audience got to have a meal, and then they came back and watched 2 more episodes of Blackadder. Essentially.
Amazing. It's such an iconic part as well, and such a difficult role to play. So, kudos for doing that. Amazing.
Yeah, that's great.
We've got Laura Turner. She's popped into the chat. She just asked the question, if you could film anywhere in the world, where would it be? Basically, she wants to know how far you're going to pay for airfare tickets to go and film.
I know that question when I hear it. Yeah, where's the bus fare? If I could film anywhere in the world, okay. I think I would love to film in Japan, actually, of all places. I'd love to go and really explore the differences between Tokyo, the city, the sort of the neon expanse almost of a city like Tokyo, and then the countryside surrounding it, Mount Fuji and this incredible sort of landscape that surrounds it. And you can have this incredible sort of technological wonder that is Tokyo and the city, and then the countryside, the beauty. But other than that, if it's a bit closer to home, then take me to the coast, stick me on a hilltop and let me look at the sea, and I'll film there all day long.
Skegness, it's the place to be. So
yeah.
We've got time for one more. Ruthie, over to you.
Okie dokie. Last question is from Harry Stedman, and apparently he beat Beverly Charles to this because she was going to ask the same question. So this is for both of you. Any advice for young people wanting to get into directing?
Firstly, I'm still young, so let's go with that, despite what people might tell you. Any advice? So, yeah, I suppose the thing is just do it. I know that sounds like a bit of a sort of simplistic thing, but directing, you don't have to necessarily have a theatre, a fancy camera, a whatever kind of thing, depending on the type of directing you're looking to do. You can direct anywhere. You can put a show on, put something together, approach a theatre, loads of community centres, loads of spaces out there. Pick something. One of the things I would say is pick something you love. Pick something you genuinely love as a piece and you are genuinely invested in. As you get more and more experience, then, you can direct, you can pick up something, somebody can give you something, you can direct it, fine, you do the job. particularly when you're getting started, I think it's really important to connect with the piece you're directing. Surround yourself with people you can work with. Surround yourself with people who are genuinely nice people and easy people to get along with. You know, a cast that you're going to be working with, or even if it's, you know, you and one other, perhaps, you've got to be a family kind of thing as you're doing it. Otherwise, it just doesn't work. If people are just sort of like messing around or not having fun or whatever kind of thing, it's not going to work. And don't ever be afraid to say you don't know. Loads of directors I think I've worked with or experienced will never ask you your opinion on something because they're terrified of seeming like they don't know the answer. Every time I direct, every single show I do, every single rehearsal I do, I will always finish a rehearsal by asking my cast, what do you think? How do you feel about this? Any problems, any concerns, anything you think I'm getting wrong, any ideas you've got? I'll ask them during it. You know, never ever be afraid to approach your actors and say to them, what do you think? Because they may have a fantastic idea that you just didn't think about.
Yeah.
So that's my advice, I suppose.
Amazing. I love it. And great advice. We've got those couple of shows coming out on the lawn this summer. We've put the details in the chat as well. So if you want to book, then get on now, because we're happy to say tickets are on sale now. Yeah. Who'd have thought we'd have been in that place where we could do that? Amazing. It's been an absolute pleasure chatting to you this evening. Thank you very much. Wishing you all the best for everything you do. Ladies and gentlemen, Steve Gillard, thank you.
Cheers, guys.
Thank you. Bye-bye, my friend. Something magical is coming this Easter. Live on Stage to Stream, our brand new online panto, The Wonderful Wizard of Oz. Join Dorothy Gale, the Cowardly Lion, Tin Man, and the Scarecrow in a brand new online magical adventure. Live this Easter at www.stagetostream.tv. The Wonderful Wizard of Oz, live online this Easter. For more information, visit our website at www.stagetostream.tv. You're watching Stage2Stream.tv live from the Neverland Theatre here in Skegness. Yes, indeed. Well, thank you there to Steve Gillard. Wonderful chatting, and great to see all the things that are coming out this year. Very exciting times. We've spoke, and we're gonna hopefully get him and come and bring some of our bits with us. Yeah. Wonderful stuff. Now, what we must talk about as well is, of course, Ruthie. We've got things coming up as well, haven't we? Yeah. Yes, we have.
Yes. Very exciting.
We're going to be filming very shortly.
Yep.
Wizard of Oz.
Oh, yeah. I probably should respond more than just with one word, shouldn't I?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're going to be filming The Wizard of Oz.
Thanks. And of course, more from Ruthie later. Thanks, Ruthie. Great. Anyway, it was wonderful to chat there. And of course, we're all going to be doing things very shortly indeed. We should get Julie Fox on this show as well. And of course, Jamie Marcus. Maybe in a sort of duo thing. That would be fun. Ooh. Yeah. Let's get the whole family on.
There you go.
Yeah. That would be good. So if you're up for that, give us a yell. Ruthie.
Yeah.
Are you having fun over there?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
I'm catching up with my comments.
I know there's lots of chat going on this evening, aren't there? It's great to see all those wonderful faces. And of course, people that have been on the show. It's great to see Laura out there as well. We loved having Laura on the show.
Yeah. Yes, it was a good one, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm having trouble with my stream.
No, that's fine, because Harry Steadman said it was a great interview, as great or better than Wet Trumpets.
Right, pack that in, Harry.
Yeah, get out.
Every time you mention it, you know what happens?
I'm not doing it.
You're not doing it?
No, because he abused the Wet Trumpet, so, there you go. Anyway, we're going to be filming, let's talk about this. We're going to be filming Wizard of Oz, but we're also, we spoke about this vaguely last night. We're going to be filming sort of backstage while we film Wizard of Oz, but then we're also going to be doing some other bits as well. We've got we're working with Starlight Children's Foundation, which is amazing. We're going to be doing some stuff with them, and we're going to film that as well as a sort of backstage documentary as well. It's very exciting, isn't it?
Behind the scenes.
Yes, I'm excited. As are you too.
I am, yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, look, the time's gone flying tonight. It's there's only 10 minutes left.
Oh.
I know, right?
Oh.
Crazy. We haven't even got time to talk about your eggs.
We already did.
We did.
Didn't tell them about my cucumber falling down the stairs. We'll keep that for Monday.
Hold on a minute. You can't just drop in a cucumber falling down the stairs. What happened?
Well, I dropped it down. Well, I didn't drop it down the stairs. There was a hole in the carrier bag, and then when I was coming upstairs, and I opened the door. Obviously, there's 4 dogs that get really excited whenever anyone comes through the door. And Valcor saw this cucumber protruding from the bag and sort of pulled it out with his mouth, because he hasn't got fingers, pulled it out. And the door was still kind of open. So as he did it, he sort of flung it.
It's Ruth's Fun Fact of the Day.
And there's more of them Monday, not tomorrow. Can you believe we're off? But it's exciting because tomorrow I'm going to Liverpool.
You are going to Liverpool.
Yeah.
But it's for a reason. It's not a jaunt.
It's not a social jaunt.
No.
It is a legal drive because I am going to pick up, socially distanced, a new illusion.
Ooh.
Yeah, exciting, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm going to go and pick up an illusion, and that's going to become part of our show this year. A show that we can't talk about yet.
Oh.
You're so close.
When are we going to talk about it?
We're going to talk about it soon, but not yet. Maybe we'll talk about it next week, because I'll have everything in place next week, and we know what we're talking about.
Okay.
But there's a big show coming to this area, which has not been done before. And not to the extent that we're doing. Yeah, it's going to be exciting, and we'll announce it next week. Ooh! Now, Yvette Pepper said, "Ooh."
Yeah.
Now, Yvette Pepper, if you want to quit your job and take 6 weeks with us, you can come and do this exciting thing. Yeah, good. Yeah, Ruth.
Yeah, definitely. I was trying to mind meld her with my eyes.
Mind meld her.
I don't know if it's working.
Quit your job.
Yeah.
Come work with us.
Do that.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's going to be really exciting.
It's exciting.
Super fun.
It's almost in place. So we'll be talking about that.
Big news.
Yeah, go on.
That means they're all going to have to tune in next week to hear it.
Can you imagine such a thing where people tune in next week?
Yeah.
Thanks, Ruth. Good, top banter. Yeah, so we're going to be talking about that next week because we will be. Yvette said, "Sounds good."
It does. Yeah, it's good.
It
oh,
is
what
good.
do you mean? Packing your job in?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Do that.
Yeah. We need to.
After this year, I mean, who needs work, right?
Yeah. You don't need work. You just need fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's things happening, and we'll be talking to several people very soon once we have this confirmed. But there you go. David Burton said, "Sorry, missed all that. Got involved in a phone call asking me to write a comedy about a COVID testing centre. Sounds hilarious."
Very good.
Well, I'd be in it. Would you, Ruth?
Which part would you play?
I would be the swab.
Do you remember we had to go for those tests? We've both had. We've had. What did you have? You had
COVID test.
Test, not actual. You didn't have it. But when we went for it, you have to do it yourself, don't you? In some places.
So
where we went, we had to do it ourselves.
Yeah, we went to
it was
a COVID
horrendous.
testing centre, me and Ruth, in the old Range Rover. It was very fun. I was in the front, Ruth was in the back, and the Range Rover has blacked out windows, so it looks like we're drug dealers. We're not. No. But we drove into the COVID testing centre, and don't know what happened there. And we took the self-COVID test in the car. And what happened, Ruth?
Well, I threw up in my own mouth, and you were gagging.
Yeah. That happened.
Yeah.
So the story of this is that we were given the test, and you have to do it in your car, and then you hand it out of a crack in your window back to the armed soldiers with the guns.
A bit dramatic.
So well, it's true. So I did my test first because Ruth went, I don't know how to do it. So I said, well, I've had 4. It was a tough year. So I wanged it on my nose. And it made me gag because I've got a terrible gag reflex. And then Ruth was laughing so much. And then Ruth did the test in the back of the old car. And what happened, Ruth?
Well, I've definitely poked it down too far. I don't know what I touched. I think it was the inside lining of my own stomach.
That's what she said.
It was awful.
Yeah. And you threw up in your mouth.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, and then had to, because you were laughing so much, had to swallow it.
Yeah, it was great.
Horrific.
Yeah.
But there you go. That was fun times of the COVID generation.
So you can have that story if you want, David.
There you go.
You go.
Yeah, pop that in if you.
Turn your phone off.
I thought I put it on mute.
Well,
but
clearly not.
It always goes, it's bad news. Mm-hmm. Anyway, there you go. It is bad news. But there you go. Good.
Yeah.
Well, it's almost time to go.
Oh, what's everyone doing this weekend?
Well, tomorrow I'm going to go and pick up this new illusion, which we're going to pop in this show this summer. But it's exciting. I'm popping over to Liverpool.
We've got those other 2 as well. We only need one of the other thing.
No,
the big magic floating boxes.
Yeah, so listen,
We've got 2 of those.
Yeah, good. I'm going over to Liverpool to...
Does anyone want a floating box?
No, I'm going over to Liverpool to pick this up tomorrow, and that's exciting. And yes, what are you doing tomorrow, Ruth?
Well, depending on the weather, hopefully it's going to be a bit nicer. I'd like to get the dogs walked before you hop off to Liverpool.
Or, do you know what would be really good? You could lay the new flooring that I've bought for the kitchen.
No, that's Sunday's job.
No, it's not.
Well, it is.
No, I'm filming with Adam on Sunday.
Well,
we're doing some poetry.
It's not going to be noisy laying some tiles in a kitchen.
Probably are.
They're sticky back things. It's not like I have to bash them in with cement and stuff. No,
You're
listen,
going to be noisy.
I've got things to do tomorrow. So I'm walking the dog, and then I've got dogs. Hopefully get their big ones done before, because they go on a massive big one on the weekend. And I'd rather get it done on Saturday because I think the weather's going to be nicer. So if I can do that before you go to Liverpool, that would be great. And then I've got a load of emails that I've got to reply to because apparently it's just confusing for people to respond to emails and go, yes, that's fine, book me in. Because when they've already said yes to something and then you've got them chartered into their slot for their space.
She's on a ramble.
And then that's all been fine. And now you're just reconfirming the confirmation because obviously time has passed.
Good. So if you want to come on the show...
can I move it? No, you can't move it. You've got to stay.
It's fine.
Stay
Anyway,
with what
if you
you've
want to
got.
come on the show next week, have we got any spaces left next week now? I don't think we have we?
No.
But we are still looking to book in advance with guests that want to come and chat about whatever you're doing. Well, come and have some fun with us.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm on you, Ruth. Will you type it out?
I was just putting some names in. Anyway, so I need to do that. And then on Sunday, the idea was to do the flooring and finish the costumes in the house because we've got the phone lines going in on Thursday, which means the dogs are going to have to go into my kitchen because
it's a fun
otherwise
fact of the day.
They'll just lick the BT man.
Good. And nobody wants to lick a BT man. Anyway, who have we got on next week? 'Cause we've got some exciting guests, have we not?
We have indeed. So Monday we have Tommy Ballum. He's going to be here. I mentioned about him. Mentioned? That's not a word. I mentioned.
Mentioned?
Yeah.
Have you had vodka?
No.
Well, no, you don't drink, do you?
No. I mentioned about him. He is a fabulous children's entertainer, and he's looking to break a record for the biggest Zoom online party.
Nice, like
amazing. Mike Rangatang is going to be with us on Tuesday.
Yes,
that's going to be a fabulous one. Paul Gosling will be with us on Wednesday. Wow, my words are not working. We might have a returning friend with some other friends on Thursday, just waiting to
This is very exciting if this happens, because I'm going to be interviewing somebody who was on the show, but not him, some friends of him.
Confusing and vague. You'll have to tune in to find out what it's about. Following that, we have the man called G. He's coming back to talk about his new show that he's doing for the Norwich Fringe. We spoke to the guys that were producing Norwich Fringe, Molly and Sam.
Yep.
Yes. And so, yeah, so we all just spoke to them about it. It's a fabulous event. It's going to be very good. The man called G is putting in a brand new show in that, so lots to talk about there. And then the following week, we've got Mr. Joseph Price on Monday the 22nd of March. I will message you back, Joseph, at some point, I promise.
Yeah, can we get Ellie in as well? Because I want to talk all things Mary.
All things Mary.
Yeah.
Yeah, drop me a message. I'll get you in.
Cool.
We've also got Ross Gunning returning with friends, and also we've got Mr. Tom Creasy joining us. So lots and lots of guests.
It's like the next couple of weeks are all set up. Imagine such a thing.
Nice
It's
and
been
busy.
beautiful. Ruthie, have you got a final story before we go?
Don't eat apple seeds.
It's Ruth's Fun Fact of the Day.
Now listen.
Because you'll get a tree in your stomach.
No, see, that's what everyone tells you. But do you know why you really shouldn't eat them?
Go on.
Because they contain cyanide.
It's Ruth's Fun Fact of the Day.
It's been an absolute pleasure this evening. I hope you've enjoyed yourself. That was Ruth's Fun Fact of the Day. And of course, that was our show tonight. We've had a great week this week. I hope you've enjoyed it and got something from it, whatever that may be. Do share it with your friends. Like, share, do whatever you need to do. Make it social. And of course, join us back on Monday for more fun and frivolities here at StageshowStream.tv. Hope you've enjoyed yourself. From us all, a very good night. Until we can get back in the theatre, stay safe. Bye.